Come on.
Okay. Well, I never know what I'm going to do till I get up here. And I can't decide. Maybe I'll let you guys decide. You might pick one that stinks. Which could be all of them, actually. So I'll just pick one that stinks. All right. I sit in bed, my head a-wander, and wonder, what if? What if war were a woman? Would she wage herself weak and warped, or work to be worthy of a new name, like Nadia, Russian for hope, and nurture her nay name into nada, never to return? Would we men still burn? And if war were a woman, would she even exist? And how then would we men survive to be P-I-double-S? I didn't know if that word was cool or not. I tend to use it a lot. I don't know why. Probably because I drink a lot of water. Okay. This poem was kind of inspired by Emily Dickinson. She wrote a very short poem that is kind of like my theme, my life statement. To see a summer sky is poetry, though never in a book it lie. True poems flee. So this is like a call to not let the poem flee that's right in front of you. Could it be, and it's called Past, Present, Future Tense. Could it be that the rays of the sun still penetrate our souls as in the past? Begin with the young heart, stay with the smiles, live in the dust of the present, and learn to love the other stars as well. Neither sea nor sky can offer any more than already resides within. Search the heart of yesterday, open the sometimes ugly chest of the future, and never give in to the lethargy of summer. Thank you.
CrisisChronicles.blogspot.com. Is that it?
Just CrisisChronicles.com.
.com. Okay, CrisisChronicles.com. Lots of great stuff. Check out the blog. Dianne, come on up.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Dianne Borsenik, and I'm following Jesus Crisis once again. It seems like a lot of the readings I've been going to recently, they introduce him as Jesus is in the house. And then I have to get up and read after him, which can be quite intimidating, after you're reading after the Lord has spoken. So, so I wrote
second comic.
yes. So I wrote this in response to that, okay? It's called Following Jesus. It's not easy following Jesus. I mean, I don't have angels or glory on my side. And the closest I've ever come to heaven is the front row at a Robert Plant concert. I've never been sold for silver. I've never been persecuted or prosecuted, although more times than once I have felt crucified at work. I've never been resurrected, only wrecked, and I certainly can't compete with someone who's been to hell and back. I avoid church like the devil, and I haven't sung a hymn in years, yet here I am, following Jesus. If you've heard my poetry, you'll know that my sins are scarlet and my books are red. My soul is naked and my faith is dead. Hear my confession. I am not a saint. Yet here I am, following Jesus. That's not it. Keep going. I stand here and bear witness to the joy of fellowship with those who minister to heart, mind, and soul with poetry. I testify to the sweet communion of ink in the blood and wafers of paper. But it's not easy following Jesus. It's a hard cross to bear. His divine poetry sends my poems weeping to their knees. His spirited interpretations move us. He anoints us with irreverence. He leadeth us down paths of irony. He maketh us to roll in aisles with his puns. Holy Ginsberg, pray for us poets now and at the hour of our reading. Once again, I am following Jesus, and I know not what I do. Let this poem bespeak the light. This air is holy. This mic is holy. This paper is holy. This place is holy. This poem is holy. Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
This place is holy-esque.
I have decided.
Quasi-holiness here. Back row. We're going this way. Cool shoes. Check out the shoes. They're pretty awesome.
I like the pants, too.
Oh, thank you. Last weekend I spent at Huntington Beach Park, and when I got home, I wrote this. Pleasant day, hot sand, bare feet, shady patch, thrown stones, strong waves, wet feet, rocks underfoot, warm sun, wet knees, hiked skirt, distant boat, incoming tide, wet underpants, nice walk. And last month when I left here, I went to the Antioch Writers Workshop, where I spent a very exhausting and good week. And I met a woman from Berkeley there who writes a lot in italics, and we've been writing back and forth. And when she reads, you can hear the italics. And anyway, I will tell you every other line of this poem is in italics. And I'm sorry, I can't read like Mom. Capillaries opening, a slight pink tinge to the surface. Secret frictions of form, they broke against my knees, trumping an entire culture, slipped up my thighs, the long muscles of the arms, a few quivers, calloused hands, a rib cage, then a pulse, the backs of the knees, a breathless moon, the small of the back, nearly unbearable, the length of the spine.
Just so you know, we've got a video camera over here, in case you missed it. Please say your name.
Sorry, Nancy.
Yeah, Nancy, and this was Dianne, and then Jesus. Jesus Christ. That's, yeah. And Madame Crisis up front. Yeah.
And what's your
Who's
name?
next? What?
Your name.
I'm Josh. Oh, four-letter word. Oh, four is one, too. Oh, that's... Oh, yeah, they both are. Yeah, wow. I'm a double nasty.
Sinner.
Josh Gage.
Sinner.
Yes. Oh. And this place that is quasi-holy. Right. Next, who is down the line? Anna, I think you're next.
Holy's a four-letter.
Come on up. Tell us about the book. How's it going?
I'm not telling you.
Okay.
I didn't do it.
2 short ones or 1 long one?
It's your choice.
Okay, I'll do a long one. Sometimes you have to wear your heart on a sleeve. Sometimes you have to wear your heart on a sleeve. Worship the Black Madonna and remember the tall ships that brought you in chains to the shores that separated your children and husband and flogged you and made you kiss the boots of an overseer that stripped you naked and sold you to the highest bidder. Sometimes you have to wear the flag of Palestine draped over your Jewish heart. Remember that Moses and Jesus walked the same desert, and the river parted with only a staff held in powerful hands. Let my people go. In the land of the Pharaohs, in the land of milk and honey, olive trees and 30-foot high walls. Sometimes you have to wear a rainbow bracelet and dance in the gay parade, lest you forget how to, and you take yourself seriously enough to stop dancing, forgetting there's always two of you. And you can dance alone. You can dance to your own music, a Sufi twirl. Sometimes you have to write petitions and ask your government not to make war in the land that gave us Rumi and Hafiz, red and white and green words that speak of purity, the fire of love in which every heart burns until nothing remains but the green grass of home in a Persian silver dish. Sometimes you have to wear the cuts of Rwanda deep in your heart, where no man can see deeply enough. Your hands are stumps, and still you write poetry, offering your blind eyes, drowning in a sea of blood. Even as the eagle soars with your heart clutched in his talons, and the drumbeat of the rhythm spirits ascend after you have walked that trail of tears in a land, in 100 years of solitude, and so you land on Machu Picchu, the hollow flute of Krishna still echoing in the Andes. The alien has come home. Sometimes there's not enough hope for another day. The shining path is dark. Sometimes you are lost in the silence. You have forgotten. You have earned a little love. To lie down in the arms of the beloved, for this is the day you have died.
And his book will be coming out soon-ish on Deep Cleveland Press. It will be the last book on Deep Cleveland Press. I'll kick a mark for you. Teresa, come on up. Oh, and we need a better picture of Teresa, apparently. She thought she looked... I don't know. Ooh, handouts. Handouts. An evening for Chuck. Sunday, September 7th, 1 p.m., 6 p.m. at Musica. It starts at noon. Zach, Lost State of Franklin, Winslow, Faces Made for Radio. Will you be reading?
I will be reading.
Yeah, all right. And Teresa Göttl will be headlining An Evening for Chuck. Please check this out.
It's actually a day-long benefit event to raise money for pancreatic cancer, which, if you know anything about the disease, it's a death sentence when you are diagnosed with it, and I see a lot of folks in the audience nodding. So if you can make it out to Akron on Sunday, September 7th, we'd appreciate it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. There will be music, all kinds of stuff going on, free food. So if you can, poetry, I'll be performing there as well. So please check it out. And I will be reading one poem for you guys tonight. This was sort of inspired by this past month, I guess. This is called The Last. Ever since that day of independence, I've been having trouble living with the silent, grainy monsters. The current berries weeping from my incandescent fingernails pull apart the glassy braids of winking fairy kings. Cigarettes and firecrackers shaping cereal box cartoons wrap the fresh-caught salmon fillets in torn and stumbling newsprint. Until now, no one ever talked. No one ever talked about acrylic cheekbones and sticky novelty offerings and pixelated sparrows running sightless into 2s and 3s, the single-footed golden knave bullying the maples. But the voice returns. Finally, the voice returns in a shredded rage of copper gears, acidic burns through lilac petals, and I woke up this morning. I woke up this morning, stepping from the bed onto the pooling floor, the broken surface tension howling like the silver chain draping a princess's wrist, links as fine as her own hair. The metal laughs and whispers the terrible things it has seen. All the casual monsters taken to her bed, all the bird-faced men who slowly poison themselves, all the blind who stand in the sun with their long black robes dancing. They never eat, they never think, they never pray, they only dance, wrapping dirty towels around their throats as if that would help. As if that would help. But this is the story that must be written, remaining unfinished, the last of its kind. The last Tasmanian tiger died alone in a zoo in 1936. The last quokka died in a zoo in 1883. They shot the last Caspian tiger in 1957. They killed the last English wolf, a bounty on his or her head, in 1770. But I will not steal the names of the innocent monks. I will not wait for the sky to burn and fall, and I will not let them take me. Thank you. You can get one of these company up there.
Yeah. We'll keep her. All right, Dan, come on up. See, you thought it was bad. You had to follow Jesus. You know,
Wait a minute. I gotta let the chills going up and down my spine subside here. Okay. My name is Dan Smith. And this is a new poem. Hope I can get it right. Sing the coruscate nows, full-throated green. I will take my stance, howling on the banks of the Cuyahoga, with all the lost tribes dreaming the city alive with poetry. I will take my stance intentionally in this topography and say yes to my natural ontogeny from the city's spires, bridges, highways, and parking lots littered with the losing lottery tickets. I will take my stance and dance with the moon all night and embrace the sun, glittering in a waking dream of love amidst the bludgeonings of the everyday. I will take my stance with the blotched colors of every mutant flower dripping from my eyes in the immense solitude of all the slammed doors echoing in empty rooms. I will take my stance in the corridors of Turney Tech and yell screaming skull electroshock poetry into the gray-green fog. I will take my stance in the hushed twilight garden of murdered children. I will take my stance with the flaneurs opening themselves like flesh roses in the abattoirs of love. I will take my stance with the raucous music of street fairs or the quiet streets of morning light. I will take my stance with the raucous music. I will take my stance in pools of focal red on a continuum to rusted ironwork chief wahoos. I will take my stance in the transformative power of half-remembered lines whose spangled beauty lights the voids of my heart. I will take my stance in languor with the vandalized statues of dead poets in parks with no fountains. I will take my stance on your freeways, wide-legged on Dead Man's Curve, and seek a shattered grace in flea markets and used bookstores of soft and antique light. I will take my stance in the whirlwinds of historicity, hearing the St. Vitus church bells tolling on the twice-burnt river, breathe deep the crackling air of your sorrows. I will take my stance in the red dust of your foundries and wash it down with starlight. I will take my stance in the Madison Rose and shout poetry into the abyss of all Lakewood's deaf ears. I will take my stance in my city of memory, where pain paints a canvas more real, alive in blood. I will take my stance in the shadows of your canyons and sing coruscate nows, full-throated green festivals filling public spaces with string theory music heavy on the bass. I will take my stance beside the hulking Hewlett cranes with stevedores of tattooed poetry and sweat, heart's cargoes laden in the holds of our hematite geography. I will take my stance on chimney minarets where an absent-minded God peers through the broken windows trying to remember the wheelwrights, welders, carpenters, glaziers who fell through their cobbled sparks of days. I will take my stance, waving my fist at the tower alongside foreclosed dreams, moonstones spilling from my pockets, spare change for every beauty beggar in the arson night.
Excellent. Thank you, Dianne. Jim, come on up.
Yeah, that sounded sincere. Nice try. This is from a short anthology called Catching Breath, which includes a lot of Clevelanders in it. Yeah. Probably the closest I'll come to writing anything spiritual in nature. Anyway, a tesseract is like a theoretical four-dimensional construct that we can't really see, since we can only see things in 3 dimensions. Did I say 3 dimensions? 4-dimensional construct. There was a book and a movie called Tesseract. I'd like to start with a quote from Alex Garland, who wrote the book. "We can see the thing unraveled, but not the thing itself." Tesseract. Tesla coils spark in dark tunnels as time unravels, in the denial of equations, in defiance of order. Yet who can deny that jazz times DNA squared equals inverted hypercube dreams reflected in 4-dimensional mirrors, that blood times pulse equals ink on the page? As time unravels, let there be sky, synaptic lightning transcendence, caffeined tesseract images steal to concrete reality. We are the breath of the universe. Probably means nothing to anyone but me, but... And then I was going to sneak in a poem by Catherine M. Valente from her new book. It's the kind of poem you have to read more than once, but I'm just going to read it once. I saw it when it was originally published, but then I read it again in the book, and I got to the end, and I just thought, oh my God. But, so it's kind of subtle in its way, even though most of the book isn't. It's called A Guide to Folktales and Fragile Dialects, even though there's really nothing fragile about it. This is probably the tamest one in here, but this is by Catherine M. Valente. And it's written from a female point of view, so keep that in mind. Notes left by a previous tenant. We used to keep cobalt glasses in this cabinet and the Christmas mugs. We lived here. You walk and sleep and eat, covered in our dust. We let a blackberry cobbler sit too long in this refrigerator. It took an hour to scrub the white dish white again. You stand in a burning circuit of air where I used to stand, drinking coffee by the bay window. I used orange-scented soap. He used eucalyptus. You can still smell the soap rings on the green sink in the hall. He used to say I smelled like winter fruit and rind. You read where I read, by the light of the chandelier with 3 bulbs that flicker in thunderstorms. Where the floorboards are still dark, this was where our bed put 4 circles into the wood. The bed had a name. We named everything in this house. We christened the lamps, the oven, the coffee tub. They are nameless now, and yours. You washed your winter scarves where I washed mine, where soap dried out my hands. I made goulash on that stove. You must feel it, the heat of skin that is gone.
Untitled was here about a year ago as our featured reader. We're going to get her back. No worries. All right. We're going to work our way up this way. So, Mike, come on up.
Michael Ceraolo. I'm going to read a couple short, futuristic poems. On the road again. Space, the final frontier. Frontier, any place not yet exploited by humans. One tin soldier. Tin and all other metals proved to be too expensive, so everyone went back to using humans.
All the way from Austria.
All the way from Austria.
Yeah. Come on up.
Okay.
Tell us about yourself. Ooh, that's a book.
There's a couple of them.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Tell us about
Deep
those.
Cleveland. No, they're Deep Cleveland Press books. Okay, my name's Brian Dorsey, and I used to live in Cleveland, but I live in Austria now. And I found out about the Deep Cleveland Poetry Hour and page just by chance a few years ago, and I've been a big fan from afar. I think Cleveland's got a great poetry scene. I know a lot of you, or some of you by name, because I've read your poems before. And I submitted a poem for the first time in my life about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I was the Cleveland Poet of the Week for 1 week, so I was really proud of it. Okay? And it's based on Langston Hughes inspired me to write this poem. And I was with my sister I wanted to do this for a long time. I wanted to go on a Langston Hughes tour of Cleveland. And we went around Cleveland yesterday looking for remnants of Langston Hughes. He lived in 3 different houses in Cleveland, and there's only one of them left on East 86th Street between Cedar and Quincy. And I think it would be great if the city of Cleveland could save that house and turn it into something for Langston Hughes. So. Anyway, this was the poem that inspired me. This is called To Langston in Cleveland. It was my Deep Cleveland poetry debut. It was my poetry debut altogether. Okay. All right, so I'm a little bit nervous. I've never done this before. Okay. Langston, you got the blues in Cleveland, where you experienced your worst Jim Crow humiliation with your sartorial best friend, Andrzejewski, a classmate at Central High, not as rich as Rockefeller or Spellman. Hughes, poetic belfry owl at a school full of Woodland Avenue socialists and seraph sapphires. One generation removed from the shtetl. Teeming Bolsheviki refuse on the shores of Lake Erie. Slavic village Mary Wisnowski's and an auburn-shaped chestnut as the ghetto takes shape. Dissed not by the jerk at the soda fountain, but by the lady at the cash register charging you
$8.65
for 4 bits worth of grub, for being black, after you went to see wooden-legged Sarah Bernhardt as Cleopatra, ass stinging in her bosom, golden voice ringing in your ears, at the Hippodrome with your French class. Langston, roofly cellar-dwelling at 11217 Ashbury Avenue, north of Euclid, in an attic room at 2266 East 86th Street, a cramped apartment at 5709 Longfellow Avenue, running track and field at Central, running a dumbwaiter at Halley's, running out of money. Today, a man like you, half Africa and half Kansas, runs for president. And Cleveland's got those weary blues now. Okay. should know, if anybody's interested, this is based on Langston Hughes's worst Jim Crow humiliation, which happened in Cleveland. He went in the fall of 1918. He went to see Sarah Bernhardt, and this is based on his biography and his autobiography. And like I said, 11217 Ashbury Avenue is now new housing, which is great in Glenville. 5709 Longfellow. There's only one house left on the street, and it wasn't his house. And the house on 2266 East 86th Street is still there, so maybe the city of Cleveland can save it for Langston Hughes. I would wish it. Okay. Thanks.
Thanks. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, thanks. It's my pleasure. I came. So.
Great. Come on up.
I'm Robin, and first is just another stupid love song about my excuses. I wrote it 16 years ago, and I don't remember writing it. It's called Lunacy. There's a big old half moon hanging in the sky, as big as life. You come into my head and my heart. Our time is measured by moons we've shared, in stars, in clouds, in lightning and sunsets. Not a long time, but an eternity I have known you. Now I love you. And the moon changes, cycles, grows and disappears. We are the moon too. Strangely enough, I don't remember writing this one either, but it's more recent. Driving home. Driving home to the end of the world, swimming through quicksand with the snakes of 1,000 sins twining and choking ankle and toe. What peace is there in silence? What comfort in solitude? How gentle is the quiet? How many monsters, venomous and fanged, glide noiselessly through the forest, slip easily into the pond, have no voice for shriek or squeal, neither roar nor shout. Invisible is the stealthy survivor, whose thirst is quenched and scales polished by the thick, salty serum of innocence that sets unaware its hoof upon the muddy bank and leans its head to suckle at the bounty of simple gifts. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Terry, come on up.
Terry Provost. There's a somewhat famous scene, I actually knew it before it was in the movie, of George Bush talking to some people. He's in a white tie, and he says, some people, I'm glad to be here with the haves and the have-mores. Some people call you the elite. I call you my base. I find it really interesting. I mean, it's a little-known sort of side effect thing, but the word Al-Qaeda, the literal meaning of the word Al-Qaeda is the base. So, just kind of interesting, the haves and the have-mores, and the base, and who's base. Well, anyway, there's a somewhat famous novel, a movie called To Have and Have Not, and Have Not, of course, is, it's one of those things, phrase. But the novel was written, of course, by Ernest Hemingway. But the screenplay, which you may not know, was written by William Faulkner. And it starred Humphrey Bogart, and it was the screen introduction of Lauren Bacall. It's where Bogart met Bacall. So anyway, just mashing some of this stuff up. And just in the background in my own head, there's a song by Bob Dylan where it talks about she's got everything she needs. She's an artist. She don't look back. And that's sort of the rhythm flowing in the back of this. I'm going to see if I can make it happen for you. Anyway, this is called To Have and Have More. Bogart said to Faulkner, "Hey man, pass me some of that single malt." Then turning to Ernest Hemingway, he asked, "Do you think I've got a shot with Lauren Bacall?" Well, the story's set in Cuba, but we can move it all to French Martinique. It's got these terrorists from Al-Qaeda, but in a screenplay they are much more elite. In the novel, it's a knot, but in reality, it's a photo op war. For the base, the point's not having. The point is just to have and have more. Could be freezing, could be burning, could be starving for just one bite of food. You can stow them in a hellhole with jailers all lascivious and lewd. From the Bremer walls of Baghdad to troops murdering a 10-year-old in Naileen. Making a living is illegal. Making a killing is not even obscene. The rich are always covered, but convulsing for an hour in the emergency room floor. The uninsured discover what it means for them to have and have more. What to do about the poor? Let them eat yellow cake, she said. Then Marie Antoinette Paris Novak Hilton, she handed her head. Well, Barack was such a rock star in Berlin when his jelly donut moment came. Even though he wasn't Gable, everyone said he also wasn't John McCain. And where there's blood on the tracks, you might just even find Al Gore. 'Cause when your country's lost in the bushes, well, all that matters is to have and have more.
Just to follow that up, I don't know if anybody's seen online. There's a movie preview going around. Oliver Stone is making a film about the biography of George W. Bush. Things to look forward to, because Ali is so accurate with his truth telling. Yeah. All right. That's going to wrap it up for the Deep Cleveland Poetry Hour, August 2008. We're going to bring Chris Franke back. Oh, Josh Palmer. All right. Chris, we'll give you another minute.
Or both.
Or both. Yeah, not happening. Sure. Yeah. All right. I'll do Gollum. I am a cocoon of baked clay, shattered commandment, incomplete idol. Horses distrust me, men use me with watchful eyes. I am the tool that tasks itself. Masterless, the word propels me. Inside my head, carved in my crust, the word sustains me. I neither eat nor sleep, neither breathe nor speak, for I am duty in earth and fire. If men are gods, I am Adam. I labor and wait to inherit and open to song. Thank you. Just another little personal side note. I've got a book coming out and soon-ish on Vanzino Press. So, yeah. It'll be out with yours, right? Yeah. All right. The editors are on the same schedule. Yeah, sometime this millennium, next, maybe, on like a little disc that's been blasted off into space. So I will let you know when that comes out, and I may, in fact, be the feature in December. That's a warning to you, Jim. You'll be hosting. All right. Way to volunteer. Woo! Okay, Chris, come on back up. Send this home, buddy.
This poem I want to mention because I love the title. There's like a song without words, and I wanted to do a title that was a play on that. So anyways, the title is Lyric Without a Melody, but I want to do a different poem. This is called The Republic and the Rest of Us. as the baby boomers become old farts and federal budgets begin to smart, upon what stones might legislators hone their wits, or own up to another loan? For know, the government's word is its bond. Or might the citizenry have been conned? When did the you-asked government become not us, but them, with golden parachutes tumbling like we're loaded dice, and loot a very appropriate verb to use, as avarice be only too known to abuse? Or say the vultures are of a culture. Entitlement is the candy, taxes a bitter pill, that the right loves to axe, or possibly elsewhere slip well concealed. What are the powerless to do but yield? To the inevitable shall we steel ourselves? As right gets it wrong, there we're left. It really pains me for governance to be effed. This is called Lead Air Ship. Air, E-R-R. If you're compelled to lead, use the best sense you can muster with humility. If you should follow, and perhaps not if you shouldn't, let your eyes be open and your wits engaged. A fault in leadership may come to rest upon the lead. But was that them and not us who has not led us where we should have gone, leaves us from where the choices are not quite the ones we had? What wisdom we may find in trust or faith or hope may be found to have been no wisdom at all. Be wary of what you surrender, and do not confuse believing with knowledge or supposed facts with truth. Yet we shall find what is assumed. There are responsibilities in these. And I'd like to close with a word. I think I was like giving the OED a flip or something like that. I think I may have found this word in the OED. But anyways, the word is stichometry. And stichometry is the practice of expressing the successive ideas in a prose composition in single lines of lengths corresponding to natural cadences or sense divisions. But anyways, I love stichometry. I also like synthesis too.
All right. Couple last-minute announcements, last-minute reminders. Please, www.the-lit.org for Writers and Their Friends, the literary festival at the Cleveland Playhouse. Please, if you have not gotten a flyer already, talk to Teresa. Get a flyer. A flyer. An Evening for Chuck, Sunday, September 7th. Starts at noon at Musica, the corner of Main and Market. It's a $10 donation for prostate cancer. Please. What? Pancreatic cancer. Sorry. It began with the P. Sorry. Pancreatic cancer. Please check that out. $10 donation. Great music, great food, great poetry. Please check that out. We are apparently mentioned on causticyak.wordpress.com, July 24th. It's a blog by R.M. Dustin. Please check that out. Please also check out crisischronicles.com. And please come to Cleveland Poetics, all one word, clevelandpoetics.blogspot.com. Check out the Cleveland Poetics blog, voice your opinion, see your picture online, remind me of your name if I've forgotten it, all that fun stuff. Please check that out.
Any other announcements? Yes.
Jesus has a featured reading coming up at the Phoenix Coffee House in South Euclid,
Okay.
August 23rd.
August 23rd, Jesus Crisis, Phoenix Coffee House in South Euclid starts
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
And I have written an epic Deep Cleveland poem to commemorate the event that I'm going to debut at that reading.
Okay, sounds good. And you're going to send that to Mark and he'll put it on the website too?
If he wants to.
All right, let's do it. Let's see where this goes. All right, so check that out, August 23rd, September 7th. Please check out these very important events. Please check out the Cleveland Poetics blog. Any other announcements? Once again, Chris Franke, please help him out. Thus endeth the lesson. See you guys next month.